হ্যালো এভরিওয়ান, ওয়েলকাম টু হরর ফিকশন। প্যারানর্মাল জগতে কিন্তু আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগতম। আর আছে কিন্তু স্পেশাল লাইভ, হ্যালোইন স্পেশাল লাইভ. Today's live is very special because we have a very special guest today from Japan. She is not only a psychic but also a paranormal expert, and she does many things and like a healing, even a lot of paranormal stuffs. And we all know Japan is full of paranormal activities, urban legend, and many more. So let's call our guest. So আমি যদি আবার একটু বাংলায় আমি আসি, যেহেতু আজকের শোটা কিন্তু আসলে একটা কোলাবোরেশন হওয়ার কথা ছিল, জাস্ট বিকজ কিছু টেকনিক্যাল ইস্যুসের কারণে কিন্তু আজকে থিংস নেটওয়ার্কের সাথে কিন্তু সে কোলাবোরেশন হয়নি। বাট তারপরও আমাদের লাইফটা কিন্তু শেয়ার হবে মাল্টিপল ডেস্টিনেশনে, যার কারণে হয়তো বা আমাকে পুরো শোটা বা যে গল্পগুলো বা যে হ্যালোইন স্পেশাল যে ঘটনা আমি আজকে শেয়ার করবো সেগুলো কিন্তু হয়তো আমাকে কিন্তু ইংলিশেও কিন্তু ট্রান্সলেট করে বলতে কিন্তু হতে পারে। So today we have a very special guest, Irene. She's a paranormal expert and also a psychic. We will hear a lot of experiences and horror stories from her own mouth. She's a paranormal expert and also a psychic. So let's call our special guest. She'll be here very soon. And don't forget to follow our Facebook page and share the stream with your friends, those who love to hear terrifying, bone-chilling stories. আমার কাছে কিন্তু আজকে বেশ কিছু স্টোরিজ কিন্তু আছে। আমি কিন্তু অনেক ইমেইল কিন্তু পেয়েছি। অনেকদিন যাবত আসলে লাইভে আসা হয়নি, ইভেন কোনো শো কিন্তু দেয়া হয়নি। বাট দ্যাট ডাজন্ট মিন যে হচ্ছে হরর ফিকশন অ্যাক্টিভিটিস থেকে হচ্ছে আমি বাইরে ছিলাম। বাট এর মধ্যেও কিন্তু অনেক আই গট আ লটস অফ ইমেইলস অ্যান্ড স্টোরিজ। আমার কাছে কিন্তু এখনো প্রায় 10টার মতো ইমেইল আছে, 2টার মতো ভয়েস ক্লিপ ইভেন শেয়ার করার মতো কিন্তু অনেক স্টোরি আছে, যেটা কিন্তু পেয়েছি কিন্তু মেইলে ইভেন কালেক্ট করেছি। ইভেন আমার যারা মডারেটর আছে তাদের থ্রুতে কিন্তু অনেক স্টোরিজ কিন্তু আছে। সো আজকে চেষ্টা করব সব থেকে ভালো স্টোরিটা শেয়ার করার, বিকজ আজকে কিন্তু হ্যালোইন স্পেশাল একটা শো কিন্তু আজকে হবে। অ্যান্ড এগেইন আই এম সেইং জাস্ট আমি আমার ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ এখন চেষ্টা করবো এখন আসলে প্রত্যেকটা কথা এখন ইংলিশে হবে, বিকজ আমাদের সাথে যারা আছে সে অবভিয়াসলি বাংলা বুঝবে না, সে হয় জাপানিজে কথা বলবে আর না হয় সে ইংলিশে কথা বলবে। আর থিংস নেটওয়ার্কের একটা মেজরিটি কিন্তু ইংলিশ স্পিকিং কান্ট্রিতে কিন্তু বিলং করে, সো আই মাস্ট হ্যাভ টু টক ইন ইংলিশ and share the story in English. So here we go. Our guest is here. Hello, Irene. What's up?
Hi. Thank you.
Welcome to the Horror Fiction Halloween Special Live Show. And we are very glad to have you in our show. And it's our honor for us
Thank
that
you for
you are
having me.
here in my show. Especially, it's an awkward time in Japan, but still you are in our show, and we really appreciate that. And guys, this is Irene. So Irene, can you just introduce yourself a bit for my audience and all?
Okay, I'm trying to speak slowly. My name is Irene. I live in Tokyo, Japan. I am a clairvoyant. I have. My name is Irene. I talk to spirits. I
Oh,
speak to
that's
them.
great. Mm-hmm.
I hear them. I hear their voices in my ears. I know when they are. I know where they are. I help people with their houses. If they have a haunting in their house,
Mm-hmm.
I help them with that too. Um, I help people with everything. If they have a person who died, they wanted to talk to them, I'll invite them
Mm.
on FaceTime and we could talk. And I'll bring the spirit out from heaven and we'll have a three-way talking. We'll talk all together and they could tell them what they wanted to know or what their if they have any problems or if they have any if they're crying or something that they're really not ready for them to go. How do we relieve that? How do we help them? How do we help the person? How do we help the client? And so
Mm-hmm.
the person can move on and the spirit can be at peace. Hi Amanda, my co-host.
Oh, hello, Amanda. Thanks for your valuable comment. And don't forget to follow my page and welcome Irene. She's our special guest. And as you guys heard from her, like what she does, and she's quite experienced. And we heard from her, like, as we can say, Irene, like you were kind of psychic, or can we relate the psychic stuff with your work or something like
Yes.
that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Amanda is my co-host. We
Oh.
do watch show together. We're on Spooky
Mm-hmm.
Japan podcast. It's
Oh,
our
that's interesting.
page. Yeah. And we talk about what we talk about here. The same thing.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Thank you so much, Amanda, for being with us. And before starting things up, I'm going to run intro of horror fiction. So don't go anywhere. Let's start the amazing intro. Boy, Aruitira with Walker. Welcome back, everyone. We are here in our very special live show, the Halloween special live show, the Friday Night with Walker, and we have our special guest, that is Irene. As you guys can say, she is a paranormal expert, or even a psychic, whatever you guys say. And yeah, I know you guys are all waiting to hear some Japanese urban legends and Japanese stories, ghost stories, and terrifying stories. Like I get a lot of comments, Irene, whenever I work on the urban legend side. People just keep saying like, "Why don't you just bring someone from Japan?" And we are just so interested, not only the animes, but also the dark part of Japan. Like, as I know, I don't know, Irene, that you were from there. You were from Japan. You might know well. Like we heard, like there is a tons of horror stories and tons of horrific place in Japan, haunted house, or even the urban legend of Japan is quite spooky. We heard, we're not quite sure like how true is it, but we know tons of stories based on Japan. So what you gonna say about that?
A lot because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of houses that are abandoned. Either they run out of money or they can't pay the mortgage or it's haunted.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy a haunted house
Mm-hmm.
or an abandoned house almost free because they can't give them
Oh.
away. The government can't give them away. So yeah,
Oh.
it's up to you. You want to buy it? Go ahead. Buy it. Um, there's a lot of houses. There's a lot of apartments that
Mm-hmm.
are haunted. They don't tell you. There's no rule. There's no law that says that this property is haunted. Beware.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's nothing like that. It's buy at your own risk. You think you want to buy it, you buy it. You want to rent
Buy
it,
it by your
you
own
rent.
risk.
Yeah, yeah. Buy it at your own risk. You actually need a clairvoyant to rent a house, or rent an apartment, or buy a
Mm-hmm.
property because you don't know what's on that land, and there is no vital records. There are no government records of the land, the
Mm-hmm.
property, what happened on the property a long time ago. So Yeah,
Mhm.
it either you find out from an old person who's 80 years or older,
Oh,
or you are a clairvoyant.
clairvoyance.
Yeah,
Okay.
other than that, you'll never know. And then by the time you buy it, it's like, oh my God, what did I
Mm.
get myself into, right?
Yeah.
And it takes money to move in, it takes money to move out, right? So you're stuck. You're stuck in that
Yeah,
property. And
that's terrifying.
yeah,
Hmm.
and either you live, you die, or you get killed. One of the pick your choice, right?
Anything can
Yeah.
happen. Anything can happen in those houses.
Yes.
Anything can happen. So we got tons of comment from Veronica Labana. Thank you so much for your highlight. And Amanda once again, but there is no other public clearance to check properties. And Veronica one more time with tons of mentions, a lot of love spreading from my audience. Thank you so much, Veronica and Amanda, for being with us. And don't worry, guys. I know you guys are extremely overhyped to hear stories from Irene because people just they're just are eagerly waiting to hear those
Sure.
Japanese urban legend stuff, Japanese horror stories. And
Hmm.
before that, I'm gonna ask a simple question. Though Irene explained that before the show, but again, I'm asking her like as I said, she's a psychic. Amanda just cleared me, and it's not a psychic; it's clairvoyant. So, can
Yeah.
you just please tell me, Irene, like what is clairvoyant? Again, if you just don't mind, then clear it for my audience.
Clairvoyant means that you see, hear, feel, and you could talk to spirits. Okay.
Oh, okay.
A psychic only means that you can sense
Hmm.
where a spirit is, or sense in a place, or you
Yeah.
can go in an environment, you can feel it, you can sense it. So clairvoyant means that you can do all the above, and you could talk to them too as well, and
Hmm.
that's what I do.
Well, psychics can also talk with the spirits, as far as I know, if I'm not wrong.
Depends. There's a limit of what a psychic can do. They can see, they can say, okay, they can sense that there's a spirit in the room, but
Hmm.
not all of them have the ability to hear them and to talk to them.
Hmm.
That's the difference, okay? And some clairvoyants are able to go in a home and figure out what spirit needs, how to resolve this problem, and some of them are not trained what to do afterwards. It's the after part that you need help with, right? How do
Hmm.
we fix this problem? How do we make the spirit feel that we're not threatening it, or or how do we relieve the energy, the
Hmm.
the the problems in the house? How do we figure out to make everyone go to peace, be at peace, so one can be crossed over, one bad ones can be removed, um and we could all cleanse the house inside and outside and create better energy for everybody. That's how we
Hmm.
do.
That's
Yes.
how things work. So I guess you guys are clear. So I can explain to my own language for my audience.
Sure.
Okay. সো আইরিন যে কথাটি এখানে বললো আসলে ক্লেভারিয়েন্ট মানে হচ্ছে যে মানে তার মুখ থেকে যেটা আমি শুনলাম সে কিন্তু অনেক বয়স্ক একজন মানুষ সো তার কিন্তু এক্সপিরিয়েন্স অনেক আর জাপানিজদের ক্ষেত্রে যে জিনিসটা হয় তারা কিন্তু আসলে অনেক জ্ঞানী ইভেন দেখা যায় যে তাদের অনেক কিছু দেখেছে লাইক আমাদের কান্ট্রিতে আমাদের সাবকন্টিনেন্টের ভিতরে আমাদের এই ইন্ডিয়ান সাবকন্টিনেন্টে কিন্তু আমরা আসলে 60 বছর 70 বছর আমাদের জন্য কিন্তু অনেক আর তার এজ কিন্তু অনেক সে কিন্তু অনেক কিছু জানে ইভেন তার এক্সপিরিয়েন্স কিন্তু আছে অনেক কিছুর তো সে যেটা এখানে মিন করেছে যে সাইকিক যারা তারা কিন্তু শুধু দেখতে পারে বা কমিউনিকেট করতে পারে আর যারা ক্লেভারিয়ান তারা কিন্তু শুধু যে সাইকিক তারা যে প্যারানর্মাল যে ব্যাপারগুলো লাইক ইফ দের ইজ এ স্পিরিট ইন ইউর হাউস যদি তোমার ঘরের ভিতরে যদি কোনো স্পিরিট থাকে বা কোনো অশরীরী অশুভ কিছু থাকে তারা সেটা কমিউনিকেট করতে পারে মানে ঘুরিয়ে পেঁচিয়ে সেই একই ব্যাপারটা বাট ক্লেভারিয়ানরা যেটা হয় ইফ আই এম নট প্রোনাউন্সিং রং ক্লেভারিয়ান তারা কিন্তু বেশটা সমাধান করতে পারে লাইক অ্যাজ আ কি বলবো এক্সরসিজম অর সামথিং লাইক দ্যাট, একই সূত্রে গাঁথা বিষয়গুলো আর কি। সো যাদের বুঝতে সমস্যা হয়েছে তার এক্সাক্ট মিনিং অফ ক্লেভারিন তাদের উদ্দেশ্যে আমি চেষ্টা করলাম আমার তরফ থেকে যতটুকু বলা সম্ভব। সো উই আর গোয়িং ব্যাক টু হার ওয়ান্স এগেন। সো
Mhm.
okay, Irene, so can we get a stories from Japan, like as you're quite experienced about this path, so you might know many stories. So we're gonna kick things off with a terrifying story, a real story from Japan, and we are just eagerly waiting for that. Even my audiences are waiting for a story to hear from your mouth. So before starting a story, let's have another amazing intro by one of my moderator in her voice clip. So let's start another intro, and after that we're gonna jump in directly to a horror story from Irene Akiko.
Your fear is your weapon.
Oh, that's amazing voice from Maria.
I
So
like that.
okay, yeah, we all love that. So Irene, just kick things off with a story, a terrifying Japanese horror story. Go on.
Personally, ones that I
Mhm.
went through, would you like to know that one?
Anything.
I lived in a condominium. It looks like an apartment, but you buy the room. I didn't know what happened there. When we moved in, my son saw a spirit jump off the building. It was a
Mhm.
man. He committed SS, unalived himself, right? He committed suicide, okay?
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, he was mental anguish. He had problems in his head. And so far that was only one, but we found out afterwards 17 people died.
Mhm. Oh my goodness, 17
Yeah.
people died. That's huge.
Yeah, they all jumped off
Oh
this
my God.
building, off the building. It's a 12-story building. It's beautiful, right? It's a 3-bedroom housing,
Mhm.
and we lived on the 8th floor. And I
Mhm.
found something really weird because I wasn't feeling very good. I got sick all of a sudden, and it wasn't just me, my children.
Mhm.
All my kids got sick. All of us got headaches. I was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance so many times. When I went to the hospital, I got better. When I came home, I got sick again. I didn't know why. And so far, we lived there for 20 years, okay? And it kept on going on and on and on. And I found out the lady downstairs on the first floor had a heart attack. She died.
Oh, that's
Yep.
terrifying.
And the man on the 9th floor, he died of a heart attack too. And the month that the last summer that we lived there, a man that was friends of my children, her husband died of brain cancer. He was only 36 years old. He was really young. And I didn't know why. I found out why now, because they killed him. The spirits who died in that complex were out to get anybody who was
Mhm.
healthy and well. And yeah, they killed him. And there's another person. Either you died by getting killed, or you would run out of money. You'd be when you have nothing in your wallet anymore. Your bank account would be dried. You go into foreclosure. You go bankrupt. Either or. Okay. And I got very sick. My son got very sick.
Oh.
Everyone got sick in my family.
Mhm.
When we went to the hospital, the doctors couldn't figure out why we were all sick.
Why you guys
came,
are all sick?
yeah, we came home. We got better. We came home. We came home. We got sick again. So it was like an on and on thing that happened,
It was
right?
a keep happening, right? It was keep
Yeah,
happening. Hmm.
yeah. And then one time I was sleeping at 4 o'clock in the morning. I
Hmm.
felt a hand underneath my chest on the mat. I said,
Oh, that's terrifying.
and then I couldn't breathe. I couldn't
Hmm.
scream. It was like somebody who was sucking the air out of my body. I didn't know what happened. And finally, I was able to wake up and he went away. I screamed at my son. I said, help me. He goes, did you see what happened? He goes, yes, I know what happened. He's like me. Uh, he said, I know. I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks afterwards. I was scared out of my wits. I didn't have my abilities. It didn't kick in till later on. And my son had to repeat Buddhist prayers in the middle of the house and get rid of him. Finally, they left. And after every 6 months, I'd be haunted. Something would happen to me every 6 months.
Oh.
Finally, yeah, and I'd be the target, right? And finally, we said, "Well, we gotta move. We gotta move. We gotta leave." But then another time, I was talking to my son. I said, "Ha ha ha! You bleep bleep bleep." I was saying these really nasty words to my son. And my son said, "Who are you?" I said, "Ha ha ha! I don't care. I don't know. I don't owe you anything. I don't know who you are, and you're such a nasty bleep bleep bleep." I said to him. My son said, "Uh oh, she's getting possessed." My son had to bring me out. I got that happened to me twice, okay? And it scared
Hmm.
everybody in the house. So finally, he had to bring me out. He brought me out of that. And afterwards, I could hear voices in my ears. Go ahead
Hmm.
and kill yourself. Go ahead and kill yourself. You should die. I started
Oh
hearing the
my
spirit.
God.
Yeah, I
That's
started hearing.
terrifying.
I started hearing these spirits tell me to die. And I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm starting to hear things, right? And I said, oh, is this my abilities? Is this my abilities trying to kick in? I'm learning what I can see now, right? And I had to
Hmm.
talk to my friend who's a clairvoyant in
Clairvoyant.
Scotland, and he had to help me so I can keep myself alive. Just to keep myself alive, he had to
Oh,
talk to
that's
me. Yeah, yeah. And the reason why I don't talk about because it's still there in that place. I don't want to give it energy, so I don't really talk about it. But I will. This is the first time I talked about it. This is a
hmm
treat for you guys, okay? So, what you do is you don't give it energy. You don't let it know that you're talking about it because when I moved here to this new place, it told me, "Don't you dare talk about me. Don't you dare talk about this place. Don't you dare talk about what happened to you."
hmm That's
It threatened me,
terrifying.
and it sat
Oh
right
my
here
God.
on the floor and I could see it. It was all black. It
Oh,
had no face.
that's. It had no face.
Nope. It was all
Oh
black.
my goodness.
It was like a dark entity, and it scared
Shit.
the big jeepers out of me, right? Yeah. And I just ignored it. I said, "Okay, I'm not gonna listen to you." Yeah. Goodbye. I just went like that too, and it disappeared. But yeah, I mean, that's the start of everything, right?
Hmm.
That's the start of me being able to see and feel and know and touch and whatever, right? And I thought, you know what? I don't want this gift. I hate it. I thought, what am I gonna do, right? But you live with it. And people say, I'd love to have your gift. I said, no, you don't. You don't want it because it comes with grave responsibility. And there are things that I've seen. There are things that I know. I can't tell anybody either because I've seen a lot of murder. I've seen a lot of people die. I've seen a lot of children die. I've seen a lot of
Hmm.
children be killed. And I know they're killers, but I can't tell anybody.
That's terrifying, you know.
It's something that you die with it, right? You cannot tell anybody. You cannot share it with anybody. You just throw away the key and hope to God you're okay tomorrow.
That's
That's how.
terrifying.
hmm Another thing is that Tokyo is a very haunted place. Okay,
Oh,
you don't have to go anywhere to see haunted. Just go out your front door. There you go. There you go. There you go. Right? It's like people say, I'll pay $100 to go to this haunted place and do an investigation. You don't have to do it here. You just go your front door. There you go, right there. Right? It's probably like there where you are too. You don't have to go very far to see the haunted, don't you? Where you live.
exactly.
Yeah, it's like Asia's really it can be really creepy. Right?
Yeah, Asia is creepy, and not only that, like Australia, like the Oceania is also creepy because like there's a huge landmass, and normally less people live there in the Oceania. I mean, in Australia. So I guess you know about Jinn, right? I
hmm
guess you know about Jinn. You know about angels and fairies. So
Yeah.
according to the many religion, like whenever
hmm
there is no people, whenever there is less people, so there's a high chance the spirits are living there. Huge
hmm
amount of spirits are living there, like whatever you call, like you can call a chupacabra, demons, monsters, jinns, and whatever spirits you
Yeah.
call,
Yeah.
whatever the entity is, like their favorite place is less human. There's a huge chance for them to be there. So Australia is another big place. So I'm gonna share a story from Australia. One of my audience sent a mail, and he wanted me to share a story from Australia. He just sent me from Australia by via mail. So I'm gonna share it later. But I'm gonna totally agree with it. Like Japan is
Oh
full of
yeah.
paranormal activities, and
Yeah.
and I heard a lot of stories from Japan, especially from the netizens. There's a tons of urban legends and tons of horror stories and horror stuffs. As Irene mentioned earlier, like you don't need to go anywhere, or you don't need to go
Go
and
far.
explore the no, you don't need to go far, or you don't need to explore the haunted places or even the jungles and the woods. All you have to do is just go to the front door, and you can see tons of spirits. Or if you're a Libra, like I am a Libra, and she is a clever, and so definitely if you're a Libra, or if you have the ability to see spirits, then there will be a possible chance for you to see and witness something terrifying. And in the off air, I was saying like she can feel like is there anyone in your house via camera or even in a video call. Like I was like, okay, I just don't need to mention. I'm just getting afraid. So she can also heal people. She can also heal people. So if you guys need any blessings or something like that, you can call Iron. He can give you energies, a green power, whatever it is, a power of light. So I got a comment from Amanda again. So you can't book places for investigations anyway. You can't book a place investigations for anything.
No.
Thank you so much for your
No.
comment.
No. They usually have them blocked off.
Hmm.
I think I sent you a picture of a place in the mountain,
Yeah.
right?
You send out
That
pictures. Yeah,
there's one picture that I sent you. It's
yeah. I
not
can
too
I can show
gory.
that.
Okay.
Like let me show it for you because okay, so I have those pictures that I didn't send me in the off air.
hmm
So there's a lot of pictures. So one of them is this, like I guess it's a human
Bones.
bones, yeah. It's a human bones and a skull.
Those those are all samurai warriors who died
Samurai warriors. Are you kidding
on
me?
the
Oh my god.
on the beach next to the shrine where I go to, which I showed you a picture of the shrine.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
and that and around that area it's all haunted.
Mm-hmm.
And that beach, there was a whole bunch of sand on the beach. They uncovered the sand. They found hundreds and hundreds of
Mm-hmm.
samurai warriors. The skulls, the bodies. Some had no heads. Some had heads. Um, some had skeletons of of everybody, and they all died on that beach a long time ago. And mind you,
Mm-hmm.
those beaches are haunted. That's part of the Pacific Ocean. On the beach on the Pacific Ocean, people go swimming near that area, and it's really haunted. It's like if you take a selfie or if you take a still picture, you could see the spirit staying there. Sometimes they're only this part up or this part down, or the legs down or the legs up, because they've been cut in half.
Mm-hmm. That is
And
terrifying, you know.
yeah, that they just found those bones recently, not too long ago. It was a new thing that they found them, and sadly, those bones are going to go to a museum. They're not going to be cared in a proper Buddhist way to be prayed and put in a crypt.
Funeral.
So yeah, they're gonna be in a museum, which I'm totally against. I'm telling you, it's not right. It's not right. But yeah, they're
Damn.
gonna be put in a museum where nobody else can see them. It's really sad. Um, there's another picture I showed you. It looks like a hill,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all green. 600 samurai warriors went into a cave
Six
and all.
hundred.
Yeah, they all
Six
sliced it.
hundred. That's huge.
Yeah, that area is all blocked off. You can't go in it. But guess what? I'm gonna find a way to get in there, and I'm gonna do it. I want to do my investigation. And not saying okay, I'm not gonna, right? Yeah, I mean, I want to go in there. I want to feel the energy. They say that it's dangerous, but I think they're just scared. People are scared of paranormal here. People don't want to know that it's there. They know it exists. It exists, right? But people are afraid. So there are no paranormal teams. There's only Amanda and myself, just the two of us, who will openly talk about paranormal. But everyone else, they don't want to know.
Yeah, because they're just afraid about that. Like, people do know there are paranormal things that exist, like whatever you say, genes do, they do really exist, like the
Mm.
entities. But people just really don't want to mess with these things because usually they don't bring anything good. Usually, 60 or 70% time, they're just try to, you know, spoke out people or even afraid. People just get too afraid whenever they just entity from different realm get collided with the
Mhm.
Outworld's people, so things
Yeah.
get messed up. So there's a reason why people just don't want to experience anything paranormal. I'm just talking about especially those who are the believers. So
Yeah.
they don't
But
usually like to collide.
but you know what? If you don't invite them in your realm
Realm.
or in your
Hmm.
house or in your boundaries, they won't come. You have to
Hmm.
invite them in your home for them to come. They cannot go in your room without you inviting them. So the best thing to do is not invite them unless your family member usually who died usually takes care of you, right? So they become your spirit gods, or they become your guides. They protect you, right? But other than that, like anything that you don't know, you shouldn't bring them in your boundaries, because you have to create your own circle. And
Hmm.
this is where you are, because you can get sick, you can get hurt, you can get into an accident, or or you can even die. So yeah, you have to be very careful who you invite, who you don't invite. So
Yeah.
that's one
Hmm.
basic rule we have. And you don't go to places where you know that's dangerous. Okay, you pick and choose
Exactly.
your where you want to go to, and you don't do something stupid. And because we know what we're doing, we're professionals. Okay, we know what we're doing. We know what to expect, and we know how to take care of ourselves, right? We have grounded ourselves. We have meditated with ourselves, so we know what we're doing. And you don't bring a person who doesn't know anything what they're doing and start messing around in a house or on a property that's haunted. You never do that. That's a no-no, right? you make sure that you cover their back. You have their backside, meaning that you can take care of, you can protect them when you go someplace. That's what we're talking about here. And never go any place that you don't know what to expect. You always make sure you know what's there. Um,
Hmm.
even by word of mouth of your elders, if they say no, you shouldn't go in there because it's dangerous, then don't go in there. Don't do it. Don't be silly. Don't be stupid. I'm going to use that word stupid. Don't be stupid. Keep safe, because sometimes you cannot be sure that you can be alive tomorrow morning because
Hmm.
you went in someplace that was dangerous, that had an evil entity, or that had a bad spirit. So you have to be careful of that too. Um,
Absolutely. Hmm.
there,
Thank you so much. Hmm.
there is another one that there's another place I've been to, the Hiroshima bombing place. Okay,
Oh. Hmm.
yeah, they don't care whether you. I brought my little cat balls. Okay, the ones who light up. They don't
Hmm.
like those. This is where you're bringing that in our realm. I don't want that. I don't like that. Put it away. I said, okay, I'll put it away. I had all my stones with me. Okay, they don't care. They come. They can't. They come after you, whether you like it or not. They're that strong. They're very strong. The spirits here, some of them, and the ones who are in the atomic bomb in Hiroshima. Yeah, they say, aha, I see you. Like they pick you up. If you can see them, they said, okay, I see you. I know you're there. Uh-huh. So yeah, you're numbered right there, right? And when I went to investigate, I did a live stream. I got cut off 3 times because they messed with my internet, and it was that bad. But it was really cool. And I got a man who was giving blankets out and water and blankets, food out. He died in the atomic bomb, and he was an American. He was an innocent person that got killed. And he said, why did my country do this? I don't understand it. He got really angry. But I said, it's done. It's over. We're all at peace. We're all friends now. You don't have to worry about it. That's what
Hmm.
I had to do. It was something. I cried. I actually cried because it was something. It got to me right in here. It was a heart you don't forget when you go to a place
Yeah,
like that.
obviously, we can't forget that moment whenever America just decided to bomb Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We all know about that moment, and it was quite, like heart touching for us, and
Yeah.
black flag for the entire world's nation. And we always respect to the deaths and the martyrs in the First
Mm-hmm.
and Second World War.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Irene, for sharing the experience. And let me talk a bit in my language, that whatever you just said, that I can translate to my audience, especially. So let me translate for you guys, those who are watching from Bangladesh or even India. Irene এখানে যে জিনিসটা বললো যে তার কাছে কিন্তু বেশ অনেক কিছু ইকুইপমেন্ট আছে, যেহেতু আসলে সে কিন্তু যে জিনিসটা বিলিভ করে যে মৃত্যুর পরে আসলে দেখা যায় যে প্রেতাত্মা বা কোনো কিছু হয়ে ফিরে আসে। থিঙ্ক কনসেপ্টটা কিন্তু যে অ্যাকর্ডিং টু আওয়ার রিলিজিয়ন, মানে আমাদের ধর্মীয় মত অনুযায়ী কিন্তু আসলে দেখা যায় যে কারিনটার এক্সিস্টেন্সটা কিন্তু পৃথিবীতে থেকেই যায়। কারণ আমরা কিন্তু জানি যে আসলে মৃত্যুর পরে সেই মানুষটা কিন্তু কখনো ব্যাক করে না। থেকে যায় হচ্ছে আ তার যে কারিন কিন্তু থেকে যায়। সো এই ব্যাপারটা যদি আইরিনের কথার সাথে যদি আমি মিলাই, কাইন্ড অফ সিমিলার, বাট তাদের ভাষ্য মতে অ্যাকর্ডিং টু দেম ইটস লাইক আ স্পিরিট, টু দেম, টু আস ইটস লাইক কারিন। আর হিরোশিমা, সে যে একটু আগে যেটা বললো যে হিরোশিমাতে যখন আসলে বম্বিং হয়, তার অনেক মানুষ কিন্তু সেখানে মারা যায়। আর সে সেখানে কিন্তু একবার গিয়েছিল, যাওয়ার পরে সে হচ্ছে যে ধরনের ইকুইপমেন্ট গুলো আসলে সে ব্যবহার করে স্পিরিটদের দূরে রাখার জন্য। তো শেষের এন্টার করার পরে সেই জায়গায়, স্পেসিফিক জায়গায় যাওয়ার পরে সেখানে যারা ছিল আর কি, আমরা প্রেত, অশরীরী বা স্পিরিট যেটা আমরা বলি না কেন, তাকে সে বাধা দেয় যে তুমি এই পাথরটা কেন নিয়ে এসেছো, আমি এটা পছন্দ করি না। মানে হতে পারে আসলে সে কিন্তু জাস্ট আমরা মিডিয়াম বলি, ক্লাভরিয়ান বলি, সাইকিক বলি, থিমটা আসলে কাইন্ডা এক। সো এই ব্যাপারটা কিন্তু সে আসলে একটু আগে কিন্তু শেয়ার করেছে, তার সাথে কিন্তু স্মরণ করেছে আসলে হিরোশিমা নাগাসাকির যে হাজার হাজার মানুষের মৃত্যু হয় জাপানে। ইভেন তারই কাছের একজন সে আসলে আহ ক্ষমা স্বীকার করেছে কেন আসলে এরকম করলো, সেই ব্যাপারগুলো কিন্তু সে আলোচনা করেছিল। আর একটু আগে যে হরর স্টোরিটা সে শেয়ার করলো একটা বিল্ডিং এর ব্যাপারে, যেখানে মোটামুটি ১৭০ জন মানুষ মারা গিয়েছে, আর আর সেখানে অনেক সুইসাইডাল কেসও কিন্তু আছে। সো এই ব্যাপারগুলো কিন্তু আসলে আইরিন শেয়ার করেছে। আমি জানি ইটস কোয়াইট হার্ড ফর মেনি পিপল টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড even the language difference between the countries and the barriers. So I'm trying my best to translate for you guys, and I'll try it. So Irene shared one amazing story and two most important horror experience that happened in her life, and I really appreciate his story. So right now I'm just directly moving on to a mail, and I got the mail from one of my viewers, listeners, audience, or whatever you say. This mail is from Australia, Queensland. So now I'm gonna share a story from Queensland. So are you guys ready? And before sharing the story, I would like to change. I would like to change the background music, and once again there will be an intro of Horror Fiction. So don't forget to follow our Facebook page and Horror Fiction YouTube channel. In our YouTube channel, you will get a lot of good explanation of urban legends around the globe. Like there's a Bloody Mary, Blow Baby, and one more top 10 Bangladesh urban legend. And I'm so willing to work on Japanese urban legends. So I'll come to her, to Irene, to talk about the Japanese local urban legend. And many people claim that maximum Japanese urban legends are fake because of the incidents of the Japan, like the girls used to get raped in the early 18s and 19s. So just because of that, just because of get rid of the rape case, like girls, they just pretend to be a ghost or something like that, and they just spread the rumors around the whole Japan, and in the end it became the urban legend. So আমি কিন্তু আসবো আইরিনের কাছে আরো একবার. Once again I'll come back to Irene, and before that I'll change my background music and there will be an intro. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a couple of seconds later. ভয় আরো একটি রাত with Walker. Okay, so I'm directly going to the mail. So Irene, I'm not sure that you're gonna love the stories or not, but this story is quite amazing. It's a true incident that I'm gonna share right now to my audience. So be patient, everyone, and try to hear the whole story because it is gonna be terrifying. It's a small story, but it is goddamn terrifying. Okay. So I'm not gonna mention the name. So he just said like, Walker, please just don't mention my name. And I know that story, so I don't need to read at all. Okay. So the story is from Queensland, Australia. In an Eid day, one day before the Eid of Eid al-Adha in the Muslim festivals, one family bought two sacrificing cattle, like for the Eid al-Adha. One is a cow, one is it's actually not a cow, it's ox. It's an ox. One ox and one goat. They bought one ox and one goat for the sacrifice. So before the day of Eid al-Adha, they used to set up cameras where they just put their cattle in their yard, and there was a 2 CCTV camera. So what really happened in that day, like before the day of the Eid al-Adha, like in the middle of the camera, it was like a footage. It was a footage, like the cattle, the ox, like out of nowhere, like there was literally no one in the yard, but the cattle's, the ox head was just twisting by its own. It was like, the cattle was standing, like having his diet, like eating grasses. Out of nowhere, the ox head just got twisted in between 7 or 8 seconds. As the teller told me, as my friend, he's my friend. Yeah, he's my friend. And my friend told me, like, Walker, it was happened between 7 seconds, 7 to 9 seconds. Like out of nowhere, you can see the TV footage, the CCTV footage, like the Carol's head got twisted. In the same time, the same thing happened with that goat. Like out of nowhere, the head got twisted and the blood spared out everywhere. The whole yard goes under the blood flood. The whole yard goes under the blood flood. Like it was in the CCTV footage. Like they were keeping their eyes on them. Like it happened in the noon. Obviously they were sleeping, and the owner, my friend's dad, was in the work, and his mom was sleeping, and his elder sister was in the university. So everyone was like having their own time, and between the time, this bad incident just happened with them. Those sacrificial cattles, they just got murdered out of nowhere because there was no one. There was no spirits, there was no nothing but invisible spirit out of nowhere just twisted their neck, and everything got caught in the CCTV footage. That was terrifying. And that incident, they just shared and mailed me, and I was supposed to make an episode in Horror Fiction Facebook page. I already give you the stories, but don't worry, I'll release the episode with a little bit more spices.
On that one? Can I comment on that?
Yeah, sure.
Incubus succubus. What it means, it's like an entity. It's not human. It's whatever it is. It has no head. It has no body. It's just a thing.
Headless thing, I guess.
Yeah, it comes out. It changes its color. It changes its views. It can be a dog, and it can change its position. It can stand up. It can do whatever. It can do somersaults. It can do whatever it feels like doing. So it's an entity. And in Australia, you have a lot of urban legends. You have a lot of indigenous people. They talk about those old legends. So it depends. So it sounds like it's an incubus or succubus. There you go.
Absolutely.
And it happens. It happens. It does happen.
So that is the main story sent in by my friend from Australia, Queensland, and he sent me the story. It's a very small, I know it's a small story, but it is quite terrifying. Like out of nowhere, those sacrificial cattles got died in, and the whole thing just caught up in the CCTV footage. Like the head got twisted and the blood was everywhere. So after that incident, they just went to the mosque. They just went to the mosque and they asked the imam, like, what happened to our cattles? Like, we were supposed to sacrifice them. I mean, Qurbani them in the Eid day. So what was that? Like, we just bought it, one goat, one ox, and that got died out of nowhere. So the Hujur the imam just tell them that it was some kind of jinn that already Irene just explained in her own way. Like according to them and according to the different religion, it was a jinn, like bloodthirsty jinn or something like that. There's tons of spirits and tons of jinns in Australia. Like some maximum of the spirits, jinns, whatever you guys call, they're just bad. Maximum of them, they are bad, and they have the bloodthirst. So the incident just happened and caused by spirit, caused by a bad jinn, maybe whatever you call. In Bangla, you can call it Adam Khor. Amra jeta boli na keno Adam Khor bole thaki je rokto pipashu. I'm just saying in my own language. Like আমি যদি এখানে একটু বাংলায় ব্যাপারটা আমি যদি একটু শেয়ার করার ট্রাই করি, দেন যেটা হয়েছিল যে ঠিক কোরবানি ঈদের আগের দিন যে ঘটনাটা শেয়ার করেছে, তারা আসলে দুটো পশু কেনে। ওয়ান ইজ অক্স, ষাঁড়, আর একটি ছিল হচ্ছে ছাগল। তো তাদের যেহেতু অস্ট্রেলিয়ার বাসা বেশ ফ্যান্সি, তাদের ইয়ার্ডে বাঁধা ছিল দুটো ক্যাটেল, আর সেখানে সিসিটিভি ফুটেজ ছিল। দ্যার ওয়াজ সিসিটিভি ফুটেজ। আর সেখানে সেই বাসার যে মেইন কর্তা, সে কাজে ছিল, বড় মেয়ে ছিল ইউনিভার্সিটিতে, আর তাদের মা ঘুমিয়েছিল। আই মিন his mother was sleeping. Like it was a quiet place and quite known in Australia, Queensland. একটু সাইডে বাসা ছিল, like their house was in the countryside, not in the proper urban area. So out of nowhere তারা যেটা পরে দেখে যে আসলে প্রথমে তারা যেটা দেখে যে when they just went to the yard they saw blood flooding everywhere and those cattles their head got twisted 360-degree twisted in the behind. Same thing also happened with the goat, also with the ox. তারপর যেটা দেখে যে তাদের মাথাটা পুরো দুমড়ে মুচড়ে পিছনে ঘাটটা মটকানো এবং আসলে রক্ত চারদিকে ছড়িয়ে ছিটিয়ে পড়েছে। দেখার পর তারা তো অনেক বেশি ভয় পেয়ে যায়, they got afraid, then they just went to check out the CCTV footage. তারা তাড়াতাড়ি চলে যেতে সিসিটিভি ফুটেজ দেখার জন্য। তারা যখন তাদের সিসিটিভি ফুটেজটা লক্ষ্য করে তারা দেখলো যে when they just saw the CCTV footage they just saw like their Carol's head just twisted by their own, লাইক এটা আপনা আপনি টুইস্ট হয়ে যাচ্ছিল। পরবর্তীতে তারা যেটা দেখে সিসিটিভিতে যে এটা আপনা আপনি মাথাটা মটকে যাচ্ছিল, লাইক ইট অলসো ফেল, লাইক they just felt that something invisible was grabbing their head and twisting their head with the full force. And Australia, this is not a the Asian cows or Asian cattle. আমি আবারও বাংলায় বলি, এটা কিন্তু কোনো এশিয়ান গরু ছিল না। It was Australian ox, a heavy bull, heavy ox. Like if you want to twist their head, you must need a huge superhuman strength. You are not cutting their head, like you are not sacrificing them with a knife or something like that. You are just twisting their head, twisting their neck 360 degrees. So you must need full strength, superhuman strength, if you want to do that. So in that CCTV footage, they saw যে আউট অফ নোওয়্যার তাদের এই ঘাটটা মটকে ফেলা হয়েছে, লাইক এরকম করতে করতে ঘাটটা মটকে যায় এবং ইন দ্য মিন টাইম ব্লিড, like they were bleeding. The cattles were bleeding from mouth, the cattles were bleeding from their ear, and a massacre, bloody situation. এটা দেখার পর তারা আসলে মসজিদের ইমামের কাছে, ইমাম সাহেব যেটা বলে আসলে সেখানে সেন্ট্রাল মসজিদের ইমাম যেটা বলে যে এখানে আসলে একটা জিনের আবির্ভাব হয়। সো সেই জিনটা যেটা করে আসলে এখানে এই রক্তটা শুষে নিয়ে যায়। So the Hujur told the victim, like there was a jinn, there was a spirit, bad jinn, who just suck out their blood. The sacrificial cattle took their blood and just ran away. He was feeding them. So that's the story, and I guess you guys are loving it, and it was a very nice story. So hopefully I'm gonna make an episode with it. So I just gave you a spoiler. So I'm willing to go back to Irene one more time. Like I'm gonna ask Irene few questions that's very important. So Irene, like usually we all know there is a tons of urban legend in Japan. Am I right? There's a tons of urban legend in Japan. Like if you just Google right now through your phone, then you can see there is more than 100 plus urban legend. Like there is a capsule urban legend, like if you are in a toilet or something else, something out of nowhere, spirit will come give you a blue and a red capsule. Like there's tons of urban legend. So usually people said, even I heard from my own friend who is from Japan, who is a netizen of Japan, he told me like maximum urban legend from Japan's are kind of fake. Like few of them are real, but a serpent shaped snake, the serpent urban legend, the fairy urban legend, the girl with a long hair urban legend, even the toilet urban legend, which is sound a little bit funny, but I need to mention the toilet. Like maximum urban legend from Japan is fake, just because of that. Once there was a time in early 18s and 90s, just girls were used to get raped out of nowhere. So just because of that, get rid of from that rape, the girls were just pretend to be a ghost or spirit or something like that in the middle of the road, in the middle of the night, even especially in the demon hour. So they usually pretend as a ghost to prevent their rape cases, as I heard and I read from a different article. So what you gonna say? Like you were Japanese and you were quite experienced and old enough, and you saw many things, I guess. So what you gonna say about the urban legend?
Urban legends came from what really happened. Okay, a lot of them really did happen. A lot of them are real. Certain creatures that live in this realm, they do exist. you have to be careful not to bring them in your house. They will come in, and when they
Mhm.
come, they're really hard to get rid of. They like messy houses, they like dirty houses. They're
Mhm.
like people who are greedy, who you think like have a lot of. They think I'm gonna be greedy. I'm gonna have a lot of money and blah blah blah, and I don't care
Mhm.
about anybody else. There are there are creatures that will come in that way. There are creatures that if you don't live a humble life,
Mhm.
you can invite them in your home, and the best thing to do is not to invite them and be live a good life, live a humble life. Make sure you do things with the rules. Don't do anything against the rules. When you come to Japan, there's like a book of rules, like from here to here, what to do, what not to do, and how to eat your food and how not to eat your food. Um, how do you how how do you go to the bathroom? How when you wake up, make sure your head is on the north side. You sleep with your head on the north side, never east, never west. Never do that. Always sleep
Mhm.
north and south. Dead people are the only people that sleep east to west. Um, always have a dragon statue in your home to prevent anything nasty from happening in your home. Always have a pyramid of salt in your entrance hall to prevent anything, nothing, so you can prevent bad spirits from coming in your home. Um, always be kind to others. Never be mean. Never be nasty. Never fight in your home because that
Mhm.
could invite something else. That could invite what we call poltergeist, right? So you could bring that
Mhm.
in your home. So you always have to be very careful how you live. Children in Japan have learned about paranormal when they're young, when they're child, because every manga, every comic, every TV program has all to do with paranormal. So they're
Mhm.
used to it when they're very young. Um, and there's always children programs that has to do with paranormal, so they're introduced at a very young age. Yes, there's some people that say maybe fake, but you gotta understand that it did come from real. Urban legends did come from real things that happened a long time ago, and they don't go away. They still exist to this day. Some people do believe it, some people don't believe it. It's up to you as a person whether you will or will not accept it, but young
So
people don't believe
according
it.
so according to you, as you just said, like those urban legend, those incident that really happened some days, like in the past, just because of that, it became real. Like in
Hmm.
these days, like what do you know? Like things like usually mentioned in the urban legend usually happen in this era, in these days.
Yeah, yes, it did. It did happen. It did happen a long time ago. Um, a lot of times, women, if a man and woman got married,
Mm-hmm.
getting divorced is not heard of. So he would, instead of getting divorced, he would throw her down the well, or he would kill her, or he'll drown her
Oh.
in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? It becomes haunted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the movie The Ring, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
See?
yeah. I saw the ring. Yeah.
Or Juon, or Sadako versus Hanako. Sadako is a spirit that lives in the bathroom. She'll come out if you're not careful. You don't call her. You don't play stupid games in the bathroom. You don't go to your mirror and call her out because
Oh,
she'll come
that's Bloody
she'll come
Mary.
for you. No, you don't. It's yeah, like they do a lot of kids do a lot of crazy stuff in Japan in bathrooms. They don't do it anymore. I hope. You hope, right? You hope they don't do it anymore. But
I
yeah,
got you.
but Japanese schools are haunted. Some of them are haunted. Yeah, yeah. um One incident I will tell you, there was my son's high school. Okay, he just passed the exam to go into the school. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and a long time ago it used to be farmland. There was
Mm-hmm.
a man and a woman who lived on the farmland. she had a daughter, but it wasn't her husband's daughter. She figured that her husband went to war. When she was with her daughter, she figured the daughter's gonna be like getting between the husband and the wife, so she killed the daughter. You know how she killed her? She threw
Yeah,
her
sure.
down the
See?
well.
Oh my God.
She
That's
was only
terrifying.
14 years old when she did that.
Oh shit.
Yeah. What happened was that people found out that that property is haunted and the well is haunted. So they
After
covered up the
that,
well and they put prayers on the well so she won't come up. When the land got sold to make the school, they uncovered the well. Guess what? They unleashed her. Now
ooh.
the well is, guess what, where now? In the gymnasium, in the middle of the gymnasium in the school.
Oh,
When I
shit.
went to my son's ceremony, when he got passed his exam and he went to ceremony, I saw this girl up above going to this poor
You
innocent
really
man.
saw her. You really saw
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Oh my God. That's terrifying, you know.
This man was wearing all these crystals around his arm. He was like this.
He was afraid, like he
Yeah,
was
he was
trembling.
freaking out. Like he couldn't stand it. And I said to her, "You gotta stop this. If you don't stop it, I'm gonna get rid of you. Okay? I will get rid of you. Now stop it." So she said, "I'm having fun." And I said, "No, you're not gonna hurt this innocent person. Now get away from here. Leave." She said, "Oh, okay, I'll go." So she left, but she still haunts the school. And my
Still
son
haunts the
went to
school.
yeah, my son went to the bathroom. Okay, he was doing his right, and the girl went knock 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 on the stall door. My son knows that there was nobody in the bathroom. He said my hair on my arm went like this. And it he he's used to spirits. He knows that there exists, but it scared the out of him. Right, it scared him so much. He said, "I finished what I had to do. I ran out of the bathroom. I ran back in the classroom." He said, "I'm not going to go to the bathroom anymore. Did you know my school's haunted?" I said, "No, yeah, I know your school's haunted. Why didn't you tell me, Mom?" "Well, it's just not something you can tell your child, right?"
Oh, that's terrifying, you know.
Yeah, and
It was
to this day, he won't go to the bathroom in the school anymore. Mm-mm. You can go ahead and
after that
explain.
your son never go to the school bathroom anymore, never use it.
No,
Oh,
he
that's
he goes to the convenience store next door to go to the bathroom. You can explain to your audience what I just said.
yeah.
No,
And this one is very interesting. Let me explain it for my audience. Okay, guys,
okay.
just don't go anywhere. Like, let me explain it. Whatever she said, Irene said. Okay, let me translate for you guys. সে যে এখানে বললো, লাইক আমি যখন তাকে জিজ্ঞাসা করলাম যে জাপানিজ আরবান লেজেন্ড গুলো আসলে কতটা সত্য, আমি আইরিনকে জিজ্ঞাসা করেছিলাম, কারণ আমি আগেই বলেছি। আর তার ব্যাপারে আরো একটু বলে রাখি, যারা নতুন জয়েন করেছো লাইভে তাদের উদ্দেশ্যে, এই যিনি আমার সাথে কিন্তু আছে আইরিন আকিকো, সে কিন্তু আসলে একজন ক্লেভারেন্ট, যেটাকে বলে মানে খুবই মানে তাদের ভাষ্য মতে বুজুর্গ একজন মানুষ, মানে বেশ অনেক বোঝে, তার বয়স কিন্তু অনেক, সে অনেক কিছু দেখেছে, ইভেন তার এক্সপিরিয়েন্স কিন্তু অনেক। ইফ আই এম নট রং, সে তার বয়স মোটামুটি আমাদের বাংলাদেশের যুদ্ধের ইতিহাসের ছাড়িয়ে যাবে। লাইক জানোই তো যে আসলে জাপানিজদের লাইফ সম্পর্কে। তো সে যেখানে এটা বললো যে জাপানিজ আরবান লেজেন্ড গুলো আসলে কিছুটা হলেও সত্য, লাইক কিছু না কিছু হয়েছে যার কারণে আসলে সেটা আরবান লেজেন্ডে কিন্তু পরিণত হয়েছে। যেমন একটা সময় নাকি জাপানে একটা কালচার ছিল যে ডিফোর্স বলে কিছু নাই, যদি ডিফোর্সের ব্যাপারটা আসে তাহলে হয়তো, বা যদি মেয়ের তরফ থেকে আসে তাহলে ছেলেটা অবশ্যই যা সেই মেয়েটাকে ডুবিয়ে মারবে, তার ব্রাইড মানে তার কনেকে হয় পুকুরে ফেলে দিবে, না হয় কোনো কুয়ায় ফেলে দিবে, না সাগরে ডুবিয়ে মারবে, এরকম কিছু একটা। সো এরকম একটা ইনসিডেন্ট কিন্তু হয়েছিল। তার ছেলে যে স্কুলে পড়ে, মানে তার ছেলে মানে হার সান যে স্কুলে পড়তো, সেখানে আসলে একটা হন্টেড জায়গা। তাই সেই হন্টেড পরিণতার রিজন হচ্ছে সেইখানে ঠিক এমন একটা ইনসিডেন্ট কিন্তু হয় যে ওইখানে একটা ব্রাইডকে আসলে ফেলে দেওয়া হয় কুয়ার ভিতরে ডিফোর্সের কারণে ডিফোর্স দিতে চেয়েছিল বা সামথিং লাইক দ্যাট। এটার সাথে হয়তো বা কোনো আরবান লেজেন্ড রিলেটেড আছে, আই ডোন্ট নো এট দিস মোমেন্ট, আমি জানি না। তো 14 বছর বয়স ছিল। আর তখনকার সময় আসলে আর্লি ম্যারেজ খুব বেশি একটা মানে আনইউজুয়াল জিনিস হয়তোবা ছিল না। 14 বছরের সেই ব্রাইডকে কুয়ার ভিতরে ফেলে দেয়। তারপর থেকে সেই কুয়াটা কিন্তু হন্টেড একটি কুয়াতে পরিণত হয়। সে যেটা বলল, আইরিন যেটা বলল একটু আগে তার ভাষায়। আর সেই কুয়াটা একটা মিউজিয়ামে পরিণত হয়। ইভেন তার স্কুলের ভিতরে, তার ছেলের যে স্কুল, সেই স্কুলের ভিতরে কিন্তু কুয়াটা এখনো আছে। আর সে যেহেতু একজন ক্লেভারেন্ট, সে আত্মাদের দেখতে পারে, কমিউনিকেট করতে পারে, তাদের সাথে যোগাযোগ করতে পারে, দে ক্যান সলভ প্রবলেমস, হিল ইউ, হোয়াটএভার, যেটা আসলে তাদের প্যারানরমাল এক্সপার্ট এন্ড দের কাজের ভিতরে পড়ে। সে তার একটা অ্যানুয়াল ফাংশনে যায়। ঠিক কুয়ার সামনেই সে যায়, আইরিন মানে যে আমার সাথে কিন্তু লাইভে আছে। যাওয়ার পরে যেটা দেখে যে আসলে ওই স্পিরিটটা মানে হচ্ছে যে যাকে মারা হয় সে আসলে উপরে মানে কুয়ার ঠিক উপরে এরকম জাস্ট একটা জেস্টার করছে। আইরিন তার সাথে কথা বলার চেষ্টা করে। আইরিন ট্রাই টু কমিউনিকেট উইথ দ্য স্পিরিট, হোয়াটএভার ইউ সে, লাইক ওয়াই ইউ হিয়ার, ইউ ডোন্ট বিলং হিয়ার, সামথিং লাইক দ্যাট। সে বলে যেখানে, তারপর সে আইরিনের সাথে একটা কথোপকথন হয়, কনভারসেশন হয়। তারপর থেকে সে ওখান থেকে চলে আসে। আর তার ছেলে স্কুলের বাথরুমে কিন্তু আর কখনোই যায় না। মানে ব্যাপারটা হয়তো আমি বোঝাতে পেরেছি, whatever she just said, Irene mentioned in her experience. So I'm not going to share any more stories. I'm directly moving on to Irene one last time. So Irene, what you gonna say? Like you just already explained about the urban legend. According to you, like there's a tons of urban legend, but something really happened, and because of that, it took place as an urban legend. In your opinion, so um, I'm gonna finish things up with another story from you, a Japanese story. So for my audience, so before we shut down the show, I would like to hear a Japanese bone-chilling story from you. Go on.
Long time ago, when Christianity came to Japan, the Catholic priests came to Japan in Nagasaki.
Oh.
Okay. Now, the samurai warriors said, you're gonna teach God, you will die like Jesus. So they crucified them alive to the cross
Oh my
on
God.
a hill. Yes,
Shit.
in Nagasaki and in Kyoto.
Kyoto.
Is another old place that has a lot of Christians. But the ones in Nagasaki, it's haunted, yes, but it's not that bad. The one in Kyoto is really bad. It's in a forest on a hill. And they crucified all the Christians and all the priests on a cross, alive. So they died in brutal pain on the cross.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And that forest is so haunted, you wouldn't believe it. So the people tried to help the spirits by putting a statue of Mother Mary and of Jesus Christ. Mother Mary is doing this. Jesus Christ is like this. Okay. The statues bleed from the eyes and from the hands.
Okay.
They have nobody's gonna go there and study it. No scientist will ever go in that forest because you can't go in there. It's blocked off because it's so bad, so haunted. They don't want anybody going in there. But there's one paranormal person that I know in Japan a long time ago who went in that forest. And
Is that you're talking about the suicide forest?
No. This is the forest where Christians were crucified.
Oh, I see. In Kyoto.
Yes, long time ago during samurai era, they were crucified, and they were left to die that way in the forest. So they're still there. Their spirit is still there, and the statues bleed from here and from here, like real blood. Why? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Bleed from the zones, right? Bleed from the zones, like the nails are pierced off.
Yeah. They got holes in here, and the blood comes out of it. It's all red too.
Shit.
I'm going to Suicide Forest next year.
Oh, good luck. That's gonna be,
You want to
it-
come? You want to come?
at least I need visa for that. At least I
Oh,
need
come
Japanese visa.
on. I'll protect you. I'll protect you. You don't have to worry about it.
I don't have any problem. I don't
As
have
long
any
as-
problem, ma'am. But I need a visa to come to Japan, and then I can go to your Suicide
we'll have
Forest.
fun. Come as a tourist, and we'll have fun.
Okay, one day for sure I will. Okay, go on with your stories. And your stories, this one is, I guess, gonna be very terrifying. The way you just start and is amazing. I'm just hearing it with full potential of attention.
There's another one. There's a doll in northern Japan. A girl who died of a fever. Make a long story short, okay? She died of a fever, and she loved this little doll. That's her name. Her little doll's name is Okiku.
Okiku.
Yeah, when she died of a fever, the parents they couldn't bury the girl with the doll when she died, so they put the doll on the shelf. But the doll started growing hair.
Oh my God, that doll still growing hair.
Yeah,
It was a doll, right? It was a doll, but still it used to grow his hair.
her hair started growing.
It was a male doll or female?
Female.
Female doll, okay.
Okay, and the little girl was a female. She died too. But anyways, so they were gonna move, so they couldn't take the doll. They didn't want to bring the doll with them, so they brought the doll to the Buddhist temple, and the
Buddhist
Buddhist
temple.
priest takes care of
Oh.
the doll. Started growing fingernails. Started growing.
I guess I know about this story.
Yeah, and the eyes, and guess what? The mouth started opening up. The Japanese dolls are all closed mouths. Their mouth is not opening. But her mouth started opening up, and their gums started coming up, and her teeth started growing from the gums.
That's terrifying.
So she lives through the doll. And she'll come into your dreams if you're not careful.
So can I just translate this for my audience?
Yeah.
Because you shared two amazing stories for us, and I would like to translate in my own language to my audience. So I guess Maria Fordos is here. So he got a few questions for you, Irene. I guess for me too. Hey, I have a question for Irene. Last night around 3 a.m., I saw a black shadow in my dining room that appeared out of nowhere, and Imam has declared that my house may be inhabited by a jinn. And I guess I didn't even know about jinn. When we built our house, we discovered two bodies underneath it. Although one of the body was recovered, it wasn't possible to retrieve the other. Since my childhood, we have experienced various physical disturbance in the house, and these issues seems to be escalating over time. It seems to be escalating over time. What could be your suggestion or something like that? Maybe okay, you can read it.
Message me afterwards, or have our host message her and message me, and we could all help her one way or another. We'll talk about it. We could talk.
Okay.
It may be too difficult to do it on the show, and I don't want to scare anybody.
Okay, Irene just mentioned she didn't want to scare any of you because it's a friendly podcast, but still it's a horror podcast. So, okay, let me translate these two stories that Irene already shared for you guys. Let me share it. Let me translate it for you guys. প্রথমে আইরিন যে স্টোরিটা শেয়ার করলো সেটা হচ্ছে কিয়োটোর একটা স্টোরি, যেখানে আসলে সামুরাইদের টেরিটরি ছিল। আর আমরা কিন্তু জানি যে মোটামুটি আসলে জাপানিজদের ইতিহাসে সামুরাইদের আধিপত্যটা কিন্তু অনেক বেশি ছিল। সো সামুরাই টাইম পিরিয়ডে ওইখানে আসলে খ্রিস্টান একজন প্রিস্ট আসে, যে খ্রিস্টান ধর্ম প্রচার করার জন্য জাপানে। এটা সম্ভবত ইফ আই এম নট রং 1700 থেকে 1600 সালের কথা হতে পারে। আজ থেকে ৩-৪০০ বছর আগের কথা। তখন আসলে সামুরাইরা যেটা করে, সামুরাইদের যে তখন যে লিডার ছিল তাদের, সে যেটা করে বলে যে, "তুমি খ্রিস্টান ধর্ম প্রচার করতে চাও নাকি মরতে চাও তোমার যিশু খ্রিস্টের মতো?" এটা বলার পর সামুরাইরা তাকে ওখানে হত্যা করে। ইভেন সেই প্রিস্টরা বেশ কিছু জাপানিজদের সেই সময় খ্রিস্টান বানাতে সক্ষম হয়েছে। তো সামুরাইরা যেটা করে, সে কিয়োটোতে একটা ফরেস্ট ছিল কিয়োটো জাপানে, সেখানে তাদেরকে নিয়ে যায় সে সময় যারা খ্রিস্টান ধর্মের অনুসারী ছিল এবং সেখানেই তাদের ক্রুসিফাইড করে। বাট ইট ওয়াজ কাইন্ড অফ লাইক হিউমিলিয়েটিং, মানে একটু হিউমিলিয়েট করে তাদেরকে ক্রুসিফাই করেই তাদেরকে হত্যা করা হয়। লাইক এখানে মোর দেন অনেক খ্রিস্টান ছিল। আইরিন যেটা বলেছে আরকি তার ভাষ্য মতে যে একটা ধর্মযাজক আসে ধর্ম প্রচার করার জন্য সামুরাইদের টেরিটরিতে, সামুরাইরা সেই সামুরাই নেতা তাকে হত্যা করে। ইভেন তার অনুসারী যারাই তখন খ্রিস্টান ধর্ম গ্রহণ করেছিল সেই টাইম পিরিয়ডে, তাদেরকেও সেই ফরেস্টের ভিতরে নিয়ে ক্রুসিফাইড করে হত্যা করে। তারপর থেকে যেটা হয় যে কিয়োটোর সেই জঙ্গলে সেখানে বেশ কিছু মূর্তি পাওয়া যায় এবং সেই মূর্তিগুলোর হাত থেকে, চোখ থেকে তাজা রক্ত বের হতে নাকি দেখা যায়। এটা নাকি এখনো নাকি হয় অ্যাকর্ডিং টু আইরিন। ইটস স্টিল হ্যাপেনিং ইন দ্য কিয়োটো জঙ্গল। অ্যান্ড দ্য নেক্সট স্টোরি যেটা পরবর্তীতে আইরিন শেয়ার করলো একটা পুতুলের ঘটনা। লাইক এটা হচ্ছে যে আমি যখন জাপানিজ আরবান লেজেন্ড নিয়ে রিসার্চ করেছিলাম, whenever I research about Japanese urban legend, I also saw that story in internet. Like there is a doll uh, which is haunted. Like the doll was used to grow her nails, her hairs, even the tooth gums. Sometimes the mouths are, lips are shakes. Their lips do shakes. Even the eye paddles. Sometimes they just blinks.
Yeah.
That used to grow hairs. সেই পুতুলটা চুল জন্মাইতো, পুতুলটা দাঁত বড় হইতো, নখ গজাইতো। এইটা নাকি এখনো একটা বৌদ্ধ টেম্পলে, in a temple, in a Buddhist temple, the doll was preserved very nicely in a Buddhist temple. একটা বৌদ্ধ টেম্পলে কিন্তু সেই ডলটা কিন্তু এখনো রাখা। চাইলে কিন্তু তোমরা ইন্টারনেটে কিন্তু দেখে আসতে পারো। কারণ আমার এই আইরিনের ঘটনা শুনে কিন্তু এখন মনে পড়লো যে এই জিনিসটা কিন্তু আমি ইন্টারনেটে দেখেছিলাম। Whenever I was used to search the research about Japanese urban legend, I saw that doll. Even আমি ইনসিডেন্টটাও কিন্তু পড়েছি। একটা মেয়ে ছিল, সেই মেয়েটা যখন আসলে ক্যান্সারে মারা যায়, তার যে খেলার সাথী ছিল, যে পুতুলটা ছিল, her parents just declined to bury the doll with the daughter. So the doll, in the end, the doll became haunted. The doll became haunted and used to grow nails, hairs, tits. Sometimes it blinks eyes. Sometimes it just moves his mouth. It is a story, and sometimes the doll can hunt in your dream if you just saw the doll and visit the temple, and if you don't be that much respectful. It similar like the Robert the doll. This doll incident is almost similar as the Robert the doll. If you are not be respected, then the doll will definitely gonna hunt you.
Of
এটাই
course.
কিন্তু আইরিন শেয়ার করেছে।
It's
Mhm,
like
go on.
anything else. It's like everything. It's like the same thing with everything. If you don't respect everything, they can come back and get you. Of course.
Iron, would you like to answer the question? Like Maria, my friend, asked you, would you like to just give a brief in the show? Just give a short brief for her. Go on.
Oh, I have to
Okay.
take a look at your house. I have to see the pictures in your home in order for me to. I'm not going to speculate right now. I'm not going to say what it is. I mean, it could be something that needs to be removed. If it does, I could do that for you. I could cleanse your home too, but I can't tell you what it is by just listening or just reading your paragraph, because I need to see your
You need to
home.
observe the situation.
I
You
need
need to
to see
observe
the
the
pictures.
situation.
I need to see the pictures. You can message me. Us three can come on, and we can take me through the house through in your messenger, and we could talk about what needs to be done. But I'm not going to talk about it now because I don't know. I have to see the house. I have to see inside. I have to see my energy. I have to see what's in there with my own eyes. If I do, I could tell you what needs to be done, and I could help you.
Okay, definitely Maria will try to communicate with you very soon or with her problem. And as you heard, Maria from Irene, like she needs to speculate your house, especially with some pictures or even in the video call, whatever it is. You can ask her, you can message her, you can give her friend requests, and you can share your all problems and all whatever happened with you in your dreams and your house incident. Irene Akiko from Japan will definitely try to help you. But right now, she can't say anything else because, as she said, she need to speculate your house. At least need to see your house, your rooms, and the exact places. That is what she meant. Okay, so thank you so much, Irene, and we really appreciate your presence in our
Yeah,
show.
thank you for
Like,
having me. It was a lot of fun.
it's my
It
honor.
was great. It was interesting. It was different. I enjoyed myself very much.
Yeah, we also enjoyed the show because people just they demand stories, and you share three very good stories, and you explain the Japanese urban legend facts very well according to you. Whatever is happening right now and whatever happened in the urban legend, there must be something happened in the past, and that took it here in the place and took the place of the urban legend, as you mentioned. So thank you so much, Irene. And once
Thank
again,
you.
I really appreciate that, your presence. And hopefully we will come to you again in our different shows and in our different
Sure.
podcasts. I'll call you again for some
Yep.
more Japanese legends, Japanese stories, and local folklores and all.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Bye.
ওকে গাইজ, এতক্ষণ কিন্তু আপনারা শুনলেন আসলে আইরিন কিন্তু ছিল আমাদের সাথে, আইরিন আকিকো। শি ওয়াজ ফ্রম জাপান। আর আসলে জাপানিজের ব্যাপারে আমার জাপানিজ আরবান লেজেন্ড নিয়ে কিন্তু অনেকটাই সন্দেহ ছিল, এখনো আছে। আসলে জাপানিজ আরবান লেজেন্ড গুলো কিন্তু ম্যাক্সিমাম হচ্ছে ফ্রড হয়, লাইক দেখা যায় যে এগুলো বিশ্বাসের অযোগ্য। ইভেনে তাদের কিন্তু বায়োসে এগুলো কিন্তু বলা আছে টোটাল ডিসক্রিপশনে, বাট তারপর আইরিন কিন্তু ব্যাপারগুলোকে বেশ ভালোভাবে এক্সপ্লেইন করেছে। আর মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্ট যে ব্যাপারটা, এই মহিলা কিন্তু বেশ অনেকটাই বয়স্ক। সে কিন্তু তার বয়সে আই গেস ব্রিটিশ পিরিয়ডও সে কিন্তু দেখেছে। ইভেন বিশ্বযুদ্ধের কথা যদি বলি, সেটা পেয়েছে কিনা আই এম নট শিওর, বাট আই গেস সো 70। আচ্ছা, কথা শোনা যায় না, কথা শোনা যাবে না কেন? আচ্ছা, আমার আবির, আমাদের মডারেটর আবির কিন্তু মেসেজ করেছে যে কথা শোনা যায় না। এটা আদেও কতটা সত্য আমি একটু দেখি। লেট মি চেক। এমনটা তো হওয়ার কথা না। আমি একটু দেখি। লেট মি চেক। শোনা যাচ্ছে আবির? এমনটা তো হওয়ার। আচ্ছা, সো যেটা আমি বলেছিলাম, অনেক কিছু কিন্তু শেয়ার করেছে আইরিন, বিশেষ করে জাপানের ব্যাপারগুলোতে। তার মতে হচ্ছে আসলে আরবান লেজেন্ড গুলো কিছু না কিছু হয়েছে, যার কারণে এটা আরবান লেজেন্ডে পরে রূপ নিয়েছে। যদিও আমি তাকে একটা ট্রিপিক্যাল কোয়েশ্চেন করেছিলাম যে আই আস্কড হার লাইক what about those incidents and those articles, like there's a clearly mentioned just because of the rape cases got rapidly increases in Japan, just need to get up that just pretend the whole situation and they were succeeded. তারা কিন্তু সফলও হয়েছিল, লাইক তাদের এই রেপ কেসটা থেকে বাঁচার জন্য। স্পেশালি জাপানের পাস্ট কিন্তু অনেকটাই ডার্ক। ইভেন আমরা 2-3টা স্টোরি শুনলাম তার কাছ থেকে। কিয়োটোর একটা স্টোরি, কিয়োটোর একটা ফরেস্টের স্টোরি কিন্তু শুনেছি, তার নিজস্ব এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করা স্টোরি কিন্তু শুনেছি। ইভেন সে হচ্ছে বেশ সাইকিক টাইপের, মানে বেশ কিছু সমাধান করতে পারে। সে আসলে স্পিরিটের সাথে কথা বলতে পারে, পুতুলদেরকে বুঝতে পারে, আর ইভেন তার আরো অনেক ক্ষমতা রয়েছে। ইভেন আমি তো আসলে দেখা যায় যে থিংস নেটওয়ার্কের সাথে আছি, ওখানে তার বিভিন্ন অ্যাক্টিভিটিস কিন্তু দেখি, যার কারণে সে কিন্তু ছিল আজকের স্পেশাল গেস্ট ফ্রম জাপান। আকিকো কিন্তু আইরিন কিন্তু থ্যাংক ইউ জানিয়েছে। ইয়া, থ্যাংক ইউ আকিকো, welcome. It was my pleasure to have you in our show, and I really appreciate that. আর হরর ফিকশন আমি অনেকদিন আসলে অ্যাবসেন্ট ছিলাম। I was absent for a very long time, and it's been a while I didn't give any show, but here I'm back again. It was a Halloween special show. আর বাংলায় কিন্তু আমি একটা স্টোরি কিন্তু শেয়ার করেছি। আর যদি স্টোরি কোনো শুনতে চাও দেন আমি হয়তোবা আরেকটা স্টোরি শেয়ার করতে পারি যদি ইউ গাইজ আর উইলিং টু হিয়ার এনি স্টোরিজ, বাট আই গেস আমার এখন আর স্টোরি বলা হবে না বিকজ অলরেডি কিন্তু 1 ঘন্টা 30 মিনিট কিন্তু পডকাস্টের সময় কিন্তু পার হয়ে গিয়েছে। সো দ্যাটস অল ফর দ্য শো। আবারও দেখা হবে পরবর্তী কোনো হরর ফিকশন লাইভ পডকাস্টে অথবা কোনো লাইভ শোতে উইথ সাম মোর স্পেশাল গেস্ট। I can bring someone from United States or even France. ইউনাইটেড কিংডম থেকে কিন্তু অনেকে আসতে চেয়েছে হরর ফিকশনের লাইভ শোতে। আমি অস্ট্রেলিয়া থেকে আপাতত কোনো সাড়া পাইনি, বাট অস্ট্রেলিয়া থেকে কিন্তু আমি আশা করবো যে অস্ট্রেলিয়া থেকে কোনো প্যারানর্মাল এক্সপার্ট অথবা কোনো প্যারানর্মাল স্পেশালিস্ট কিন্তু খুব শীঘ্রই হরর ফিকশনের কোনো স্পেশাল লাইভ শোতে কিন্তু অবশ্যই আসবে। আর হরর ফিকশনের কিন্তু নেক্সট যে এপিসোডগুলো এগুলো কিন্তু আসবে। রিসেন্টলি কিন্তু ফেসবুক ইউটিউব চ্যানেলে কিন্তু আমি একটা এপিসোড কিন্তু রিলিজ করেছি, সেটা কিন্তু দেখে আসার অনুরোধ রইল। আর আমাদের যে সিকোয়েন্স যেটা আমরা মেনটেন করি প্রত্যেক সিজনে আমরা নতুন নতুন এপিসোড কিন্তু আমরা নিয়ে আসি, সেটা কিন্তু ধারাবাহিকতা অব্যাহত থাকবে। যদি একটু লেট হচ্ছে আসলে এপিসোড আসতে, বাট উইল বি ব্যাক উইথ মোর এক্সাইটিং এপিসোড। আর ধন্যবাদ হরর ফিকশনে যারা মডারেটর আছে, যারা আসলে স্টোরি টেলার আছে, ভয়েস আর্টিস্ট যারা আছে আমাদের সাথে কিন্তু আছে। আবির কিন্তু আছে হরর ফিকশনের মডারেটর, দীর্ঘদিন যাবত কিন্তু হরর ফিকশনের সাথে আছে। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ টু আবির। হি ইজ আ কোর মেম্বার অ্যান্ড মডারেটর অফ হরর ফিকশন ফেসবুক পেজ। অলসো আমাদের সাথে স্টোরি টেলার হিসেবে কিন্তু এখনো আছে জিনান, কিন্তু আছে অ্যাজ এ স্টোরি টেলার আমাদের সাথে কিন্তু আছে। আমি নামটা ভুলে গেলাম, শি ইজ মাই ফ্রেন্ড। সেও কিন্তু আছে আমাদের সাথে। রাইট নাও আমার নামটা মনে নেই, এখন নাম দেখতে গেলে আমার আসলে তার ফেসবুক দেখতে হবে। খেলা আসছেন আসলে অনেকক্ষণ কথা বলার দরুন এই জিনিসটা হয়েছে। ইভেন আরো অনেকে কিন্তু আছে হরর ফিকশনের সাথে ওতপ্রোতভাবে ভাবে জড়িত। আর ইনশাল্লাহ আমি আবারও ভবিষ্যতে ফেরত আসবো আরো কিছু কোলাবোরেশনের শো নিয়ে। আজকে থিংস নেটওয়ার্কের সাথে কিন্তু একটা শো করার কথা ছিল কোলাবোরেশন নিয়ে, বাট সেটা আনফরচুনেটলি কোনো টেকনিক্যাল ইস্যুজের কারণে হয়নি। So we'll be back with more exciting live podcasts, live shows, obviously horror live shows and horror episode. Till then, take care, good night. আর যাবার আগে একটা কথা বলবো যে আপনারা সবাই ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন, আর মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্টলি ভয়ের জগতের সাথেই থাকবেন। Your fear is your weapon.
Your fear is your weapon.
ভয় আরো একটি রাত উইথ ওয়াকার।